Hello everyone, welcome back to another informative video. In this video I'm going to show you how to grow your own leafy greens. So in this specific example we are using pak choy, and I also have lettuce here. Before we go any further into this video, please excuse any background noise, and I would want to give you an idea of the materials you will need. So first of all, you will need seeds, right? You will need seeds, whatever leafy greens you want to grow in your system. You will need seeds. Now you will also need something to set the seeds in. So I'm setting my seeds in, this is called Oasis cube, right? And they can be broken off like this that you see here into a single cube, right? And of course you will need net pots, right? You will need clay pebbles, and if you have gravel, that could use also like smaller size gravel, right? You will need a monitoring tool to monitor the EC and the pH of the nutrient solution. You will need nutrients or fertilizer, so you will just basically go to your local farm store and see what hydroponic grade fertilizer they have for your leafy greens, and you just make your solution according to what the label says. And what else do you need? Of course you'll need a pump, an air pump, to pump oxygen in the water. You will need a container like this. It doesn't have to be this large. I mean, I have two side by side here. This one is clearly smaller than this one. So, but nevertheless, you'll need a container. Of course, you'll need water, right? And right, that's about it. And yeah, you'll need a styrofoam sheet to put on top of the water, and I've already gone ahead and prepared the styrofoam. So I've cut these holes roughly about 10 inches, right? So that's basically it. What you want to do is you want to have you'll also need these pots as well. Sorry, you'll need these pots, and you could also use styrofoam cups, you know, if you want to basically recycle. If you have these cups around the yard, you could use these cups. So I have these pots, right? And I also have perlite, so you'll need some perlite as well. This is called perlite, right? So what I do is these containers here, this you'll need basically like two of them as well, right? What I do is I hydrate the Oasis cube, put it in this container. And this is basically a container that I bought at the supermarket with assorted fruits, and it came with a lid to cover it. So I didn't show it away, I just use it for this purpose, right? So you will need to hydrate the Oasis cube, put it in the container like this. So whether you have this container or this, right? You put it in the container, drop one seed per hole, right? One seed per hole, depending on how many seeds you want to plant. And then what I do is I cover the container like this to kind of keep in the moisture, right? But as soon as the seeds germinate, I remove the lid, and you know, ensuring that they are hydrated daily until they become of a size, like for example this size, and then I transplant them into these larger pots where they'll get large, like what you are seeing now. These seedlings are basically 28 days old, right? And these have gone past the stage where they should have been transplanted into the deep water culture system. Ideally you can transplant them at this stage. As you can see, this is much smaller than the rest. This stage is okay, right? And some people start their seeds in the actual system and allow it to just grow without having to do any transplant, right? But I prefer to start my plants and then transplant the seedlings into the system, right? So as I said, you'll need a perlite, and what I do is I could take this one out, right? As I said, at this stage you could basically plant this in the system. You don't necessarily have to transplant it, but this is for demonstration purpose. um, like when they are at this stage in the Oasis cube, you could basically transplant them, right? So what I do is I'll basically um, put the perlite in the pot like this, make a hole. I'll hydrate the perlite, ensure that it's saturated. Then I make a hole like that. Then I put the cube inside with the plant, right? You don't break the plant, don't pull the plant out of the cube. Put it in like that. Everything together like this, right? um, yeah, and just ensure that you water it, and ensure that water is in this container, right? um, and what I normally do at this stage, when you normally see the true leaves are these leaves right here, right? When you see those leaves emerging, I normally start applying light nutrient formulation in terms of the concentration, right? So I feed them like with um, a 700 parts per million nutrient solution. So the same nutrient solution that you're putting inside this system for the larger plants, you just use the same nutrient solution to feed the younger plants, but only at a lower concentration level. So as I said, I'm using 700 ppm here, but in here I'm going to bump it up to 1000 ppm to grow the plants to maturity, right? So right, so that's how it is planted in that, right? But ensure that the perlite is adequately watered, and you have water inside this container as well, because when you put water in this container, it will basically, the perlite will basically absorb and keep moist, and your seedlings will look healthy throughout the day, every day, until you're ready to plant them. So now that we have discussed that, let us move on to uh, the container. So the container, it basically has in water, right? And I basically don't pull it up to the top, because with pak choy, as you've seen in other videos that I've made, the pak choy need something to brace on, to anchor on when they start getting large. So I just put it at this level basically, so that when it grows it can brace on these ends, these sides, sorry, right? So that it doesn't fall over. So again, I have my water in. What I'll do now, I'll use my pH EC combo meter, and this is basically from Hana, right? Oops, I'm using one on because one on is holding the camera. So I just put this inside the water, or into the water, right? Turn it on, right? As you can see, I have a pH of 5.4. I ideally want it to be like between 5.5 6.3, somewhere there, in that range. And the ppm now is like 9, well, 1000. It is right on the ball, as you can see, right? 1000. So that's where I want it to be. So the pH is basically kind of out of range. It's 5.4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some potassium bicarbonate to bring up the pH a bit. So that's one thing that you need to understand in terms of bringing up pH, in terms of from an acidic level to a more alkaline, or so for example moving from 5.4 to 5.5 to 5.6 thereabout. You need to use bicarbonate will basically help with that, right? And if you want to bring down the pH, you'll use a acid, right? So you could use like phosphoric acid, sulfuric acid, those kind of acid, right? To monitor your pH. Well, not monitor, sorry, to regulate your pH. Now once that is done, so what I'm going to do now is I'll remove my pH meter probe and then turn it off. Then I'm going to go ahead and prepare the net pots, right, and do the transplanting. So I'll show you what that look like. So this is what it looks like, right? I put it inside, and this now will go into the styrofoam. Right, so I'm finished transplanting the pak choi seedlings, right? And this is basically what it looks like, right? Now this is the hose pumping the oxygen, the air into the water, right? This is what the small air pump looks like, right? Basically for both of these systems, right? Both of them running off the same, as you can see, running off the same pump. So I have a few plants left over, but it's always good to have a few plants left over because anything could happen inside here. You could have plants dying, and then you could have plants to resupply. So that's basically it. Um, if you have any questions about any part of the process, you can put them in the comments area, and I'll answer them, right? So that's it. Please remember to like the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again in another video. Bye bye.